Hello, this is Jose of Team Meraki, and I'm going to be demoing the functionality of the GTC internship application web app. The functionalities that I'm going to show off are those that have been completed so far per our client's requests. This feature demo does not represent all the required functionalities requested from our clients. Rather, it will be limited to what we've fully done and demonstrated to them as of our client checkpoint. The things that I will go over are the few instances of updating some specified text on some of the web app's viewable pages. The updating of these texts were due to the need to correct spelling, grammar, and technical information about the internship application process via the web app. The preface: all pages demonstrated to have their text corrected were corrected by simply fixing the traced EGS file in our views directory in the internship project folder, like so. Like so. Assuming if you're a new applicant and finish signing up to the web app, the initial dashboard you'll get after logging in will be this page. This page here. Here you'll choose which internship process you'd like to initiate. It is also here where we modified the text to reflect the requirements of Dr. Hammonds, the biology coordinator. She wanted this pre-existing page to include that a preceptor application would be required if an applicant were to propose building their own internship, which we did right here. The update to the text was placed, and these marked required steps for applying here. Another change was the information and the terminology of the word internship in this disclaimer on the bottom of this dashboard for newly created applicants. Within this disclaimer, it states how the app was created by student software development teams and gives instructions on how to complete the biology internship application if the user would rather not use this site. The word internship had to be changed to experiential learning previously for legal reasons, but as of this semester, it has been considered okay to use the word internship in experiential learning's place. Thus, internship has been modified in favor of the confusing term of experiential learning. Also inside this disclaimer is an added specification to complete a typed application packet and to print and submit it to Dr. Hammonds if the applicant did not wish to apply using the web app. Before, there was no specification to complete the linked form in Microsoft Word, but as of the completion of Dr. Hammond's requirement, we have added that in there as well. Another instance of updating the text on the app's pre-existing pages was this paragraph marked in bold as important on the biology internship application form. This newly corrected paragraph was changed per Dr. Hammond's request to have it match the exact wording she wanted to have it as. Before the correction, it was a paragraph composed of a crucial new line typo that also happened to have redundant information that was already expressed on the previous disclaimer page. While logged in as a user with an admin role status, we can access admin functions such as inspecting submitted and pending applications. Admin roles are reserved for the internship coordinators and authorized users. Changing the internship coordinator's table view of all submitted applications was modified as well. Dr. Palacio wished to have the table view of submitted applications to have the amount of viewable entries to be at 50 applications at a time instead of only 10 at a time. And as you can see here, the default is for 50 instead of it being defaulted at 10. Here I will show off where it should show off at least 50 here, which it does. (50 out of 77). On this same page is also an added utility of sorting applicants by last name in either ascending or descending order. The ability to sort applicants had pre-existed before our own efforts, but the first and last names of the applicants were attributed as one whole name before we separated the first and last names to be contained in their own TD tags within this page's traced file in the views directory. Essentially, sorting by last name by an on-click helps the coordinator search for an application by narrowing down the search by the applicant's first letter of their last name. So if we wanted to toggle in between sorting last names by ascending or descending, here we have Jane Doe being at the top, being the highest value of characters, with its last name starting with D, where we go all the way down and we see a last name starting with V being the last entry in the list. And just to toggle back to see what descending looks like, here's a last name with V. It goes all the way down to having a value of what was at the top when it was going in descending order. Being on the same page of the application table, when you wish to view an application's details, you can go to this link available on the given applications entry and view the details contained from the applicant's form data. Previously, anytime the ITech coordinator would set a given status in application, whenever they'd scroll down to the status designator here, and they'd see that the application status was defaulted as complete. This gave question to whether or not if the application status was consistent to the one that Dr. Palacia had assigned. This was fixed by fixing a typo error on the page's views file. So now what the web app does, instead of defaulting to complete whenever Dr. Palacia sets a status, what it does now is that it defaults this application status here on this drop-down menu to select the status instead of it going to be defaulted to complete, which caused the confusion. Fixing the typo error made it so that it no longer pointed to complete as the default, and it now defaults to select the status, which makes a lot more sense. If an applicant completed an ITech application, both the coordinator and the student would see that their prerequisite course information show up as undefined on their View Application Details page here. The first three listed prerequisites would show up as undefined, whereas the last prerequisite of ITech 3900 would contain all of the semesters and years of the previous three, including its own semester and year. This was fixed by adjusting mismatched name and ID values in the form structure of this page's view file. A means of having a self-contained web app that didn't depend on a browser's back button to navigate back to the application's entry table page was requested by Dr. Palacia. The solution to this was to add a back button onto the same page by directing the button's form action to point to the file that traces to the application table file. This back button feature was added onto the View Applications page among a few other pages so that previously faulty admin functions such as changing an application status can be saved. And this will take us back to the applications table page, in which it does. The last update to speak of as of this checkpoint was the correction of site information and data on the Edit Biology Applications page. Whenever an applicant tried to state that their intended site that they'd want to apply for was an already pre-approved and documented site, there would be no indication that that site was chosen in the View Applications page. Even after the applicant updated their information, the only thing that got recorded into the View Applications Details page were details from proposed non-already approved sites. Had the applicant chosen a pre-approved site that was something other than any of the ones below other, all they'd see on their View Applications page was empty data tables for the proposed site option, which were these data tables here on this form on the Edit Applications page. Dr. Hammonds basically requested that the View Applications Details page have conditions so that the proposed site details table fields not appear for when an applicant chose a pre-approved site. She also requested that the chosen pre-approved site be actually listed and visible instead of seemingly non-existent. In this case, we had chosen the proposed site, in which we called it the Botanical Gardens, and all the table field forms of the proposed site fields would be listed here had we actually put any data in them. So let us go back to the edit application page just so that we can show off how choosing a pre-approved site will take away those table values on the view application details page. This is a pre-approved site. We're going to update. We're going to go to view, and as far as we can see, there is no more of the proposed site details table fields here. All we see is the chosen pre-approved site and the name of the chosen pre-approved site. This was fixed by embedded JavaScript into the view applications page so that conditional logic can be added so that the view file can determine whether a proposed site and its corresponding details should be shown as table fields or just a sole table field for the selected pre-approved site. After implementing our solution, any type of site and its corresponding form data from the edit and initial biology applications page showed to be visible and corresponded to what was shown on the view applications page. We are currently resolving other requests related to document storage for resume, essay, and form files. The files ought to be stored onto a connected database instead of being emailed to the coordinators via node mailer. We are looking into the utility of using GridFS. GridFS is a specification of MongoDB that allows for document storage, which is unlike how the current version of our app currently stores anything at all. That's going to be it for the functional demo. Again, this has been Jose from Team Meraki, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask me or anybody from my team, and I will see you later.